trying to answer an email question right now. They updated how they did the how they do hotkeys on TradeStation. So I'm trying to figure out how to fix that issue for the client that's having trouble, but it's not that easy.
Melissa says, I dreamt about SPY, so trading her this morning. Good morning, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Great. Our usual folks. Lannon, first one in this morning.
Yeah.
Boy, we're quiet this morning.
Well, it's going to get to 100 degrees here today.
Yikes.
It's pretty warm.
Oh, there it is.
Uh-oh. Mike has made a discovery.
No,
What have you found, Mike?
I found it. They didn't actually update it. It's just they just updated the screen to check on it. Okay, I can answer her question very easily then. I think it was a her, was it a his? Him. Now I'll see if they are on. Dennis. Dennis, are you on? I figured out your hotkey thing.
Larry says, good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Larry.
Larry?
Joseph says, good morning.
Melissa, my computer usually shows server east. This morning it's server west. Did we change something? Not aware of anything.
So you're bi-coastal?
It shouldn't matter though.
No, it shouldn't.
Melissa, server west is the natural state and server east is what you change it to. So maybe it like refreshed, maybe your browser updated or something and it just refreshed the page.
Morning, Martha. Morning, Kathy. Morning, Matt. Good morning, Brian.
Morning, Brian. Is Sean on here yet? I mean, Martha's here. Deshaun is not here yet.
Don't see him on yet, no. There's Tim, Thomas, Steve. Sam, Robert, Paul, Myrtle, Melissa, Miss Martha, Lloyd, Larry, Lannon.
Everybody's getting here.
Joseph, Joe, John. It was so funny yesterday. I had while I was gone to Puerto Rico, 6 months,
there.
5 or 6 months, the car registrations expired and insurance expired about a day after we got back. So I had to go down and get the car inspected. One of the cars inspected yesterday. I haven't been there months and months, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as I drive up to where you drive in, the guy came to the right side of the car, to the left side where the driver says, So I had to roll down the window. And so then I got inside and they were going to get an inspection and do a couple of things. So I went in the waiting room and they'd taken all the chairs out except about 6. And they were all so far apart. I mean, it was just so, people wearing masks and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like a bandit.
A little awkward.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Micah, you doing any work on the bike?
Yeah, my handlebars I accidentally got an inch instead of 22 millimeters. So I had all the parts I needed, but then a couple didn't fit. So I have the final parts on the way in the mail, and then I have to do some finish work.
Someday you're going to get a car?
Oh, I have a car.
Oh, you got a car too?
Yeah.
Can you drive it? You licensed to drive it? That's what I told you.
Oh, yeah, of course. I even got a Washington license. I changed over.
You had a what?
I changed over to Washington from Montana, my license.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, I'm all official and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bike's more fun to ride.
We have a friend.
Go ahead.
We have a friend down in Puerto Rico, and she left about the same time we did, and she has a big home up in Wyoming, and so she lived in Wyoming. And I talked about the difference between Puerto Rico and Wyoming, and she even has snow. It's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy. Larry says, we trade the first hour of the market. Is the first hour particularly productive? Are other hours equally as productive? Yeah, so the first hour is actually a lot more, there's a lot more going on. If you look at a standard chart, Larry, on your platform, anything with a volume bar, you'll see how much more volume happens in the morning. I mean, you can see it happening right now. Like, let's just go through this open, right? You see what's happening on SPY. Now, this didn't just happen on SPY. There's overnight action, and there's certain aspect, not options, but stocks continue to trade for certain hours after the market's closed. So the price can still change in between the time you close and you open, and that's why you get these, matters. But in the first 5 minutes, first 10 minutes of the open, in the first hour, ultimately, you have all the people reacting to this move. You have all the people, closing out the positions that they made yesterday. You have a bunch of people just normally trading it. There's a lot more in the first hour. It's very, it's quite the buzz at the stock exchanges. There's a big bell. Everyone's yelling at each other, right? So the open's always known as this event. So yeah, that's when the most volume is, the most liquidity, and that's when we can get in and out of trades the easiest and the prices move the most. So
Melissa said, it's the new normal, Joe. We used to have 30 chairs in the waiting room. We now have 3. People wait in their cars until it's time for them to come in. There you go. And Larry says he finally got his sound back. I'm glad to hear that, Larry.
Good.
oh, good. I didn't realize you were struggling with that.
Yeah.
First time I've seen you ask a question, so welcome.
The market's open. Been on
Yeah,
1 minute and 39 seconds.
We have an interesting and unusual opposite charts between Q and Microsoft.
Just like yesterday.
Yeah. But I think that Microsoft is probably pulling up Q at this point.
To put it in perspective, guys, I'll probably see this. I want to say 4 or 5 times. Would be about close to how many times I've seen the open. Now this is a little bit more common, right? Because you have SPY gapping and the others just aren't. They're not necessarily like moving opposite each other. They're just not really moving, right? Q is like what, 20 cents off of where it closed, and so is Microsoft. So Microsoft's a little farther, but the times I've actually seen them opposite, pushing opposite directions, like yesterday, and then for a little bit there was it is a very rare situation. If you don't know.
Yeah.
It does not happen very often, so you got to keep your eyes up when it does.
Yeah, and we have an interesting setting up here. Now we've got Microsoft pushing down. Q's already down, so it may end up pushing Q down nicely for a while. So we're going to keep an eye on this 241 strike put on Q. Let's see what
Also,
happens.
Dennis, if you're on here, Dennis, please let me know in the question box. I figured out your hotkey thing that you were struggling with on that email, so I'll run you through how to do that.
This is from Alan and Linda. Are the white dashes on the chart important?
Not to what we're doing. That's a much longer term moving average.
Yeah.
We trade much faster, of course, than where that would be helpful for us.
Okay, Deshaun signed in now. There'll also be some action between Deshaun and Martha. So
Might get a pen. I didn't explain anything. I didn't explain anything on the chart, just that one was heading up, SPY was heading down, and Microsoft was heading up, and Q was heading up.
Oh, John's saying, Micah, depend.
Yeah.
Duh pin. Yes.
This is from Larry. It says, on the pre-recorded sessions, Tony talked about trading the 1 plus or minus premium. Does it matter how far out of the money you have to go to find the $1 premium?
Great question.
Yeah, it is a great question. I'm not sure how old that video is.
So that's pre-pandemic, Larry.
Yeah.
Was $1. When the pandemic hit, all of those options that were usually about $1 at that point got inflated to about $6.50, $7 a piece. So it drastically changed the pricing structure and has been changing since then. So right now, where we're at in the current is we are going to find your strike price. You want to get as close as you can without being on the same day. So if you see that 0, you're not going to play the 0 day. But if it's a 1 day to 4 day, just as long as it's the most recent one that's not current, you're going to go into that. So for SPY, for instance, we go to June 10th, and we're going to go about 1 in the money. If you have a delta column, you can reference that. If you don't have one, I recommend putting one in, but usually you have a delta column. So we're looking for about a 50 delta, anywhere from 50 to 60, ideally, and then that's where we're going to play it. So it's going to be closer to $2. Go ahead.
Dow's down 263 now. It actually opened up down a little over 300, but it's climbed back up a little bit now. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on the of course we're trading current week, which is June 12th expiration. I'm keeping an eye on the 241 strike call on Q. We have a 52 delta currently. We're right in the money.
Yeah, that dash white line is M4. It's M4. We just are in too tight of a time frame to use it. We're just in a holding pattern on SPY. Everything's a bit freaked out. E4 is rapidly declining, but that's due to just the morning volume kind of settling down. E2 and E3 are obviously in a huge put pattern from this gap. Usually the bigger the gap is, the longer we have to wait to start looking for our first trade. So we'll wait for some direction here. We have really mixed lowers, and everything's just over exaggerated from this gap. So we'll let things come in. These Bollinger Bands should tighten in the next probably 3 minutes, and then we'll get to where we need to be.
Which is looking for some trades.
Brian went for the bounce, got 16 cents on the SPY call, first trade of the day, I think. Anyway,
well, that's fantastic, Brian.
Nice work. Lots of great questions today, guys.
Yeah, no question, no kidding. So Bradley says, when time permits, could you explain how you want the charts to set up before you place a trade, and what indicators you watch most? Maybe a brief description on the lower indicators. That is probably one of the best questions you can ask, Bradley. So what we look for is, we're looking for either a call or a put, number one. For instance, on Q, we're seeing the tick getting higher here until the last minute or so. So what I'm looking for is, I want that tick, I want that yellow line to be as vertical as possible. I want as few breaks in that yellow line. Those tell me there's strength in that movement. So if the yellow line continued up and passes all the M lines, right, which is the white, green, and blue, starts to approach the upper Bollinger Band, I'm starting to look to make a trade there. On the lowers, I'm looking for agreement. I want to see on the call side, I want to see red over blue on the 3 lowers. And I like to see incoming volume, which E4 will help to show us, plus a continued bias toward price going up. One of the last things we're looking for is Bollinger Band expansion. That tells us that there is volume coming in that's like fuel to the movement, fuel to the fire that helps continue that movement. So those, in brief, those are things that we're looking for. So right now, there's nothing really going on Q. We have mixed lowers. It's still trying to find its place or direction. It's meandering about here, which is why we call this first period of the day, really the first 30 minutes, we call price discovery.
I'm going to take a prep here on SPY. Probably the 320.
And
yeah, I'm prepping the put on SPY at the 320. M1's rolling over, crossing down through M2. We've also had our Bollinger Bands pinch. They're ready to change direction now. E1's recovered a bit, but E2 and E3 are still in a put position. We see E4 is continuing, so we got a reset on E1. It can move down again here, and we can head into the next leg down.
Yep, and we've got a reset on RE1 on Q, so we're going to keep an eye on the put side of things, probably the 241.
And Melissa said, yes, the SPY 320 went down from 206 to 235 in the amount of time it took me to close the door to my office to keep the dog out.
That's incredible.
It's a doggy trade.
Yep. You know, and you'll notice on Q, and you actually see it more on SPY, is we have that big expansion of the Bollinger Bands as it's reacting to the gap down. You know, we kind of wait for that to settle down. When you start seeing those Bollinger Bands start running parallel, that, you know, we've settled down, we've come off of that opening price explosion, and then these are where we're starting to look. So we kind of wait out, most days we wait out this period as the charts come into balance.
Obviously, no luck on that put. Came back above M1. We never got any Bollinger expansion, so it didn't even get us close to entering on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, you got there some from Dennis.
Oh, Dennis, cool. Yeah, cool. Is it Dennis or Denise? Because I keep saying it both ways, just so I don't mess it up.
I think it's Dennis at D-E-N-N-I-S. Is that how you spell Dennis?
Yes.
I think it's Dennis.
It's Dennis. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Dennis. Okay.
I have a brother named Dennis.
How do you spell Denise?
Yeah, because there would be an E.
D-I-N-I-S-E.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I was just trying to clarify. All right. So it still works for me, Dennis. The Control X. All right. To catch everyone else up, he asked me about hotkeys and how the hotkey was not taking. So I created a macro, Dennis, and it just worked. So I did a order entry macro, and then I hit create, and it ran me through the process the same as before the update. So it looks like they only updated the way to view the ones you've already created. But anyways, you go view macros, create, and then it walks you through the prompts, but the prompts are the same. It's an order entry macro. You want it for options, like it's all pretty cut and dried. You want to use the position quantity on the active symbol. They explain every step in here, and it has.
Guys, we're gonna prep this. I'm sorry, Mike. We're gonna prep this 241 strike call on Q.
Oh yeah, go for it, Tim.
George says sound is going in and out. Does anyone have that problem? I don't hear that at all, George, on my system.
Sound. Yeah. Anybody else having sound trouble?
Yeah. I hear everybody just fine. And Joseph says fine. It's just the sound is just fine there.
Okay, I probably just reconnected, George. Just leave and come back on the same link.
Bob says all sound is good. Kathy says loud and clear. David says fine here. Martha says good here. Marion, oh, good morning, Marion. How you doing? She said no sound great. I don't know. Oh, so sound great. She's not spelling very well this morning. Marion, you've been drinking a lot, right? Yeah.
So yeah, I apologize. I don't have more information for you, but it's just working out now. Obviously, I haven't created one, created a hotkey and tried it yet, but we'll email more about it if it's still not working. I'll try it on simulated and see if I can get it to not work. Mine haven't been working the past couple days. They've been a little bit weird. Like I'll click it and it just doesn't do anything. It's like it's not even attached. So I'm motivated to figure out what's going on with hotkeys as well. Then
Sam says hi. Close QQQ 242 call 212 to 217 about 22 seconds. Thanks for training, support, and profits. Audio okay. Audio's okay with Sam.
Good work, man. That's perfect. It's a perfect trade right there.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon. Oh, it's for Joseph. Currently driving through Fort Worth shortly, waving as I drive by. I'm moving one of my daughters up to college in Colorado, educating ourselves today. I listened to it.
Okay, great.
I guess he's driving, so his typing is a little bit.
Great. And Thomas just made 8 cents on that Q push.
Very good.
Well, I tell you what, driving Colorado would be preferable to stay in Fort Worth today. It's going to be 100, so.
Jeez.
Yeah, I get north.
Yep.
Larry, it's a little bit confusing, but this is currently Tim. Tony was before Tim. Tony was the instructor before Tim. This is Tim. But Larry is asking Tim, did you execute the Q call?
No, not yet. I'm still looking for a point here. I'm not sure. It's running out of steam here.
Not a juice. Yeah, we'll call it loud and clear when we do, Larry.
Of course, our cheerleader Martha says, way to go, Thomas. There you go.
Update on SPY. We're just still waiting for something to happen. Obviously, the predominant time we buy is on the outside of the Bollinger Bands. We haven't been outside all day. Came down here aggressively and we were ready for it, but it ended up recovering. The call looked very weak. No Bollinger expansion at all. Nothing happened when Microsoft and Q were moving. So we're just going to continue to wait for a little bit of a clear direction. We're just moseying through the middle here. Our lowers are flat. So
Marion's defend herself. I meant no sound problems and sounds great. I'll stick with complete sentences.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
No worries. Yeah, we're trying to push up here on Q. We've got a lot of space on E3. E1 is overlying blue, maybe crossing under. We'll see. Just trying to decide which way it's going to go. Getting a lot of influence by Microsoft today. Not unusual.
Probably go to the 320 call if it happens. It's at a 54 delta, but it has substantially more volume than its predecessor. So
Kathy made a nickel on a Apple put. Good. Congratulations, Kathy.
Apple.
nice.
And Bradley, his first successful trade on QQQ, plus 9 cents. Fantastic.
Way to go, Brad.
He was right
Way
here,
to
wasn't
go.
it, Bradley? Congratulations, man. First of many. That's awesome. How do you feel?
Was it Bradley that was doing all those paper trades? Was it
Yeah,
Brad?
Bradley was. Yep. He's been killing it on paper for a
So
couple
this
weeks
is-
now.
Yeah, that's first great one.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Nice. That first one's always the best.
Yeah.
Frank asks, I'm sure you said this before, but why do you only have 2 trading sessions for such a short time period? Is it the most volatility? Yeah. So the most volatility is in the first hour and the last hour, usually. The last hour is the part that's flexible. So sometimes it's a really busy first hour, and then at 11, Trump has a conference, press conference, or companies are announcing earnings at the end of the day, something like that. The second session is very fluid to whenever that next influx of volume happens. So that's why we usually do 1 in the morning and then 1 whenever.
And also, Frank, really to stick with the program, follow the rules. You don't want to spend a lot of time doing this because you tend to become almost like a speculator, and things become like automated at your wrist. You're hitting the mouse at the wrong time. You start waiting for stuff and just doing all kinds of stuff. And you don't need to. You make a fortune just doing it, less than an hour in the morning and less than an hour in the afternoon, or maybe just less than an hour all day. So it's not something you want to sit there. You will become very bad very quick if you sit there and just try to go. You become a speculator.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, our trades are too short term.
Yep.
To do that.
Kathy
Most
says,
people can't do that because they're already in their positions and they just watch it for the rest of the day, but we're a lot different than that.
Kathy says, way to go, Bradley. Master cheerleader Martha says, way to go, Bradley.
There you go.
And Kathy said that she misspoke, that hers was a call on Apple. Frank says, thanks, that makes sense.
I did see that cross down happen on SPY, but the Bollinger Bands are still pinching in, so I did switch to the put side. I haven't done anything yet. There's really just no expansion. I guess we could call this a prep, but for how hard E1 broke and nothing happened, this is not a great sign to start off with. It shows a big expense of energy that didn't do anything, basically. And so, this put could still open up after an E1 break like this, but it's not going to be nearly as strong because it already used a lot of its strength in a failed attempt to break downwards. So if you see a big E1 flare with not anything happening on the tick, that should be a warning sign. Again, it can still move down and you can catch it even, but it's not going to move for as long as it could have.
Yeah. And Larry says, how do you know when there'll be a second session? Larry, these two guys have been doing this long enough now that and you hear them explain what's going on. As you'll hear like yesterday, well, it's getting really slow, and they explain why it's getting slow and what the charts are doing, what they're not doing, and you just learn it, and you just get the feeling, well, why sit in front of the computer, go do something else? You probably had a good day already, and like there's not really specifics. A light bulb goes off on your screen and says, hey, don't do anything this says. It's just Yeah.
I'm going to prep this 241 strike put on Q. Waiting for some confirmation on the lowers. I mean, we're still basically in disagreement. On the lowers, 2's about to cover, but we still have contracting Bollinger Bands. It's a good bust open. Keeping an eye on this. I've got some expansion now on the Bollinger Bands. E1 has fallen well below. E2's finally crossed, so let's see.
So now you see the culmination of what just happened on SPY. We pushed down again. I almost entered that, but it was weak. It was having a lot of trouble bouncing on its way down to where it angled up a little bit. And you see E1's already at the bottom, and that's what I meant. If it already takes a big portion of that chunk, then the remaining strength is not going to be enough to really send it, because it's going to hit that bottom right away and then be a lot lower in strength, probably going to bounce, and that's exactly what it's doing. So this is what that play out looks like.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And the opposite is, if you look on Q, our E1, we still had plenty of room on all 3 indicators. It was setting up nicely, just low volume, and it just didn't quite take off. So
there's Deshaun, made 3 cents on the SPY call. Don't understand this, +3 on SPY call, at the 42-minute. I don't think that's right. I don't know what you mean there. 42 minutes.
Yeah, he means that depending on your time frame. So for me, it
Yeah.
would be 6:42.
Oh, look, Larry's up a nickel on SPY put.
6:42. That's awfully early. All right, I'm going to go
Yeah.
back and prep prep the 241 call here.
Back and forth.
Early
Get this,
call.
get this. Jay's up 40 cents and plus 20 on a SPX.
Nice.
60 cents, plus 40, plus 20, 60 cents. Fantastic.
Killing it, guys. Absolutely killing
Okay,
it.
I went and entered in there. What I get in? 288. I'm at 299.
Take it.
I think we'll just go ahead and take that.
Where did they fill you?
288 to 296.
Fantastic. $286?
288 to 296.
296, okay.
Sorry, we were chatting it up on your entry.
Now, yeah. No worries. Yeah, I got in a little early. Sorry, guys.
we were blabbing. It's our fault.
No worries. No worries. It's all good.
I had another email question to answer whenever we have a gap as well.
Wow, look at, man, people making money.
Yeah, everyone's just killing it. Alan, I think it was Alan, talking about the starting line. Was that you, Alan, that I was talking about the starting line? That the
Hey, guys,
email
we're gonna
question you
reprep.
asked me?
We're going to reprep this 241 call.
By the way, you made 2.78 on the Q.
Cool. Yeah, we'll do the 241 again. Yeah, let's see. We've got some expansion of the Bollinger Bands. There was a pretty aggressive cross on E1 there. Of course, you can see that in the tick.
Of course, Martha's congratulating everybody.
E2 and 3 never did cross on the put side.
John says, Tim, thanks for the pin.
That was
I
me, John.
think you mean Micah. Yeah.
Yeah, I do the pen behind.
Go ahead. Melissa says that the spreads, the SPX are huge. How do you trade that?
The spreads aren't huge, Melissa. They're proportionate. So if you're up at $20, like on SPY, then a 20-cent spread is not going to be, it's going to be the same as a 2-cent spread on a $2 option. So it's weird at first, and the dollar amount you're going to be down is going to be significant, right? Because still, especially if you're still having size at $20 a contract, well, that's $2,000 every one, right? So that it gives you you're going to see a lot more movement happen with your overall money. But as far as the trade goes and how long it takes for a cover and all that, just imagine knocking the 0 off, and the 10-cent is a 1-cent spread, and view it like that, because it is. Most of them move in 5-cent increments anyways. They don't even move in 1-cent increments. It just depends on where you're at. So I would just view it as, chop the 0 off. If it's over at, a 60, 70-cent spread, I don't know what SPX does, so I don't know what's an average spread for it. But, maybe there's still a level that's too big of a spread. But you have to figure out what that is, right? For us, it's 4 to 5 cents. You're getting way too big on the spread. But
Yeah.
we know that because we're trading it at, $1 or $2. So
Deshaun is up another 3 cents on SPY. That makes about 6 cents for the day so far on SPY. Fantastic, Deshaun. And of course, Brian has had one or two really fantastic trades. And I want to point out, Tim, Micah, and Tim, Deshaun and Brian are my special clients that I taught at the bar at the grill how to do this. And now look how they're doing. That's right. Yeah.
I know you took them under your wing.
That's right. Yeah.
And shared the secret sauce with them.
Alcohol and trading do a great thing for each other,
Oh, I don't.
I feel like they do. We got a lot covered at that cocktail party for the seminar.
There you go. Alan and Linda say yes. I don't know what to, but there was something about that.
Yeah,
Melissa says she got it.
I can't wait till we can all get together again.
Yeah. Boy, look at Sam.
I want to meet everybody.
Closed the QQQ 242 to 246 in just over a minute. Too long. My fat fingers on the computer. Gonna go drink coffee. Thanks for the profits.
Hey, Sam, you push the buttons. You earned it, buddy. All right, Microsoft is heading down into a nice push. We're going to keep an eye on Q, see if it follows down. If we do, we'll do the 242.
The 320. I just got some of that at 225. Might be bouncing up here.
Come on, down.
Getting that second break of this low. It's not, it's taking its time. There we go. Already up 10 cents on that, getting some incredible movement.
Nice.
We're going to take it into this strength here.
Are you still in?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I jumped in at 292. I'm at 294 now.
I'm liking this one. I'm going to milk it a little bit.
I'm going to ride this guy for a bit.
20 seconds into the trade. Let's take it here.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
all right.
Don't read them both at once. What'd you get out for, Micah?
It's rejecting my orders.
All right.
There we go. 225 to 241.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. We may have a second bounce here. Joe, I did 292 to 3.
Fantastic. On that SPY, you were in at 225, right?
Yeah, 225.
Fantastic. That's 7.11%.
Nice.
It looks like I got a partial fill is why I got a partial at 242. That's why I had all those answers that didn't go. I mean all the answers that didn't go. So yeah, it took me 4 times to get out, but we're finally out of that. So
you're out at 2.74. That's good.
2.74.
Yeah.
Percent?
Yeah.
I feel like it should be a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
Okay. You got in at 225, and what was your average out price?
241.
You're absolutely right. No, it still comes out 7.11. Yeah.
Oh, 7. You said 2.7%.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah. No, it's 7.11. Yeah.
Cool.
Killer.
Brian got 10 cents on that. Joseph got 10 cents on that. Sam, okay, I lied, closed QQQ 240 put in about 30 seconds. 199 to 206, 7 cents.
You guys are up 12.63% over 3 trades. Good deal.
Yeah, you guys are absolutely slaying today. Congratulations. Thomas got 10 cents as well.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
The option really accelerated. That was the most acceleration I've seen in an option in a long time, where the option it actually got moving, guys. Because look at this. This is going to put in perspective what we've been fighting that you guys don't realize, right? We bought like, what is this here-ish, 319.70-ish. We sold in the 319 in the, I think the high, yeah, about here in the high 50s, I want to say. Right, 15, 20 cents is all that moved, right? The bottom was in the 40, so like 30, 40 cents was the maximum of this move. You grabbed every cent out of it, which we definitely didn't.
That's fantastic. O'Brien up 10 cents and Joseph up 10 cents. Martha just congratulating everybody.
Yeah, and guys, I want to also point out on Q. This is classic. You may want to get a screenshot of this. You'll notice how when we were going through that push, we went through the M lines, and then we got an increase in angle straight down. That's an increase in right up in there, come down, right there. We got that nice increase which headed straight down very fast. people saw this, jumped in on this trade very quickly, which is why we saw that quick acceleration. Mine was jumping 3 and 4 cents, you know, by the time it refreshed. This is classic. We'd love to see this break in the line, going toward the put to an even more extreme angle down. You'll notice on the lower Bollinger Band how extreme that widening happened right at that point. And the upper Bollinger Band started expanding. Classic. We love seeing this.
Hey, Thomas is up 10 cents. I don't know what it just says, 10 cents and a smiley face. So I don't know what it was on. And now here's a nice note for Brian. This is why I like Brian. He says, Joe, I was privileged to meet you. I had seen you around for some years, but we never spoke. And that's because, Brian, I don't speak to many people, you understand. Then, when I did meet you, it was all fun and jokes. I never expected to learn and trade options. You are bringing much skill and knowledge to the public. You're enjoying life while making a big difference to many. Thank you very much, Brian. That's really nice. And
It's nice.
Larry, he said he tried to put three times and get filled. Jay, back in here again, 1910 to 2140 in SPX.
I mean, $2.30 a contract on that.
That's what he says, yeah. Incredible. And look at
Wow.
Kathy. Kathy got 5 cents. There's nobody here to say, congratulations, Kathy. I have to cheer for you, Kathy. That's great. Fantastic. Martha, what'd you do, Martha? 0 on SPY. I'm happy to see
wait a
that.
minute. There it is. Yep. She got it in the next entry.
She got it next, yeah.
She's happy to see everyone getting the 10-cent button. Yeah, guys, SPX is a great place to trade. It really is. I feel like it's steady. I've never done it, but all the results, it seems to be very consistent. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, but it seems to have consistent movement. That's why you and Randy love it so much, probably. And Jay is a very adaptable trader. Jay here has traded everything that we've traded. And even gone off on his own. Martha's the same way. You know, they'll go off and trade Intel, or Martha came out of the woodwork like 6 months ago randomly with some target calls that she was killing it on, and just really good at adapting the technique to all these methods, you know. I mean, all these symbols, which is great.
You believe she does so well, and she's such a good cheerleader. It takes a lot of time to be a cheerleader. There she is again. Congratulations, Kathy.
Still kills it.
There you go.
She's
Yeah.
always making positive.
Yeah.
I appreciate it so much.
It's fantastic. You know, it's only 7 after 9 a.m. This is about, I think, the most trades. Yeah, I think that y'all done in this time span. This is a good day. Or we record. Hey, we're recording this session. Our friend behind the door. We won't say what color door. You're recording this, so be sure and process it and get it posted on the YouTube and the what's the other thing we got besides YouTube? Facebook. Yeah, Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, we'll keep an eye on this call. We've crossed over on our lowers nicely. We're above 0 line. We may be in a good call position here. I'm also watching Microsoft inch up. It seems to be leading.
Isn't it funny? The Dow is down 360 points, red, very deep red. Most people are sitting there sick, losing money. What do we do? Yeah, I mean, again, if it was the other way, or if it was green, it'd be the same thing for us.
That's right.
You might say we're colorblind. There you go.
Yeah.
Colorblind traders. We don't care if it's red or green. So.
Right. That's absolutely right. All right. Getting rejecting at the 241.30. Just make a mental note of that.
SPY, I'm more worried about the call. You see Q stayed a lot flatter, so you know, to get up there and get into a true call position, we have a pretty suspended E2 here. You see there's a lot of room below it. You know, it's staying strong. It had the opportunity to come down here and continue to break, but it hasn't. So there's some continued strength on Q that there's not on SPY. You see we've continued down on 2, 3, And we have, you know, lower highs every time here that we're heading into. So on, you know, as you guys know, once we pass down through a point, that same point that can keep it up like this, let me clear my drawing so it's clear. Right, super basic support and resistance. We come down here, we stop here because there's something here that matters for some reason. Right, there's a level here that matters. If it's support, it comes back up. Once it breaks through, this is actually the most perfect example. Once it breaks through, the support becomes resistance. Now, if you're moving, right, the top line is, let me change the color. So you're moving around here. The top line is the resistance. This is the resistance line, and this is the support line. Once you make a cross, anything that was support becomes resistance and vice versa. So we come down here, right? This was our support line. We break through it. As we come back up, it becomes resistance, and we stop there. Try again, it fails again. So we now have to make it up through here, 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 right? Whereas Q just has to make this one pop. That's why if, you know, the longer we trend in a certain direction, the more obstacles we have to overcome.
Right.
So you have to look at that for your context on the day. I don't know if that makes sense. We don't use support resistance much, but.
Yeah, that's a great explanation though. That's really good illustration.
They just got pretty close to lining up, you know, damn near perfectly here. You can see this bottom is at almost exactly the same point as that top. So it's a good time to bring it up because it does matter. That's not coincidence, you know.
Right. You know, and it's also important because we see these set up all the time, over and over again. And as you learn the behavior of your ETF, you can see these things set up over and over again, and it can help portend something that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to keep an eye on this 242 put on Q. We had a triple top there that's been actually declining. Our lowers, although they are in a put position, they're not super strong. So keep an eye on this.
I'm gonna skip to the last question and then we'll go back. But John says, since the ice charts are delayed by 1 minute, you recommend once in a position we watch the option chain for a real-time sell to close. Your chart should delay in a minute, John, is the answer to that one.
Yeah.
These ones that you're looking at are current, and I can verify that by looking at my option chain over here. You have a last price of 51, so we can drag this right over and look at these two prices, this red number and this yellow number side by side, and they're pretty exact. So it should not be delayed a minute. There's something wrong if it is. Figured you should know that. That's a priority. Might reprep this put here. We have to move strikes though. Maybe down to the 319. Moving to, because there's a kind of dip in volume in the middle. We go from 21,000 to 6 to 11,000 on these SPY puts.
John said, Mike, a great explanation. I'm a visual learner and the pen really helps. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah, me too. I echo that. I love the pen and the illustrations. It really helps.
Yeah, well, it helps me too, John, because my brain is very odd on how it like processes things.
I'm not even gonna comment on that.
You would agree though, Joe, right? I'm a weird dude.
You are.
Thank you. Yeah. So for me to communicate my jumble of thoughts to you guys, I need some visual aids. So the pen was the best thing we've done in a while, I think.
Especially as early as it is over there. I mean, to have your brain working,
Yeah.
in the middle of the night, basically. It's,
Full ramp. I mean, it's only 6:30 at the open, so you know. I mean, it's not. I feel like a lot of people start work at 6:30. Yeah. Wake
well,
up at 5:30.
I
That's
think a lot of people get up at 6:30.
Yeah.
Not sure they all
Waking
start
up at
working
5:30 too.
quite
Yeah.
that early.
No.
Yeah,
I guess
keep
it's
an eye on
9
this,
to 5 is the standard.
We keep an eye on this put here. Oh, it wants to break down.
Yeah, we were checking that out on SPY, and then we bounced up, and the Bollinger Bands are closing again. So.
Okay, I just jumped in. I'm in, filled at 3. At 303.
Just hanging out.
302. Here we go. 303. Little rest grid. I'm gonna jump out there. All right. 3 to 304, Joe.
Fantastic. Okay, great.
Catch
Just caught that.
before that whip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that was 1.33. Good.
Okay. May have a little more energy. If we play the second one, we're going to be real careful. I just don't know if it has.
Yeah, it's looking.
E1's already at the bottom, so is E2 and 3.
Okay, is this right? I've got I have 3 Q trades and 1 is SPY trade, right?
Yeah.
1, 2,
SPY
3.
trade, SPY trade had the highest returns, more Qs, but they're not as high as the one SPY trade does. Get SPY trade.
I know. See, it takes me 5 trades to catch up with Micah's 1 trade.
Tim's a lot more consistent.
That's why I have to trade more, because his trades are
whatever.
His trades are weird. His trades are like he is. He's weird.
Exactly.
George lost a cent on QQ put. Sorry, George, but you're doing fantastic otherwise.
That's exactly what you got to do, George.
Yeah.
That's a perfect loss.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're going to lose them.
Yeah, we're bouncing here. A couple questions I'm going to go back to. Interrupt if you need me to, Tim, or if you need to.
Yeah.
Bill a while ago said, I noticed that when the green or red dots begin to develop, they stay there for a few minutes. Should I use these indicators as entry point? No, absolutely not. They are. I can see how you get there, but they're not consistently profitable at all. It's meant for a different time frame that's been adapted. So, you know, anyone new here, we obviously trade a much different time scale than anybody is used to, because we do it in a different way. There are some people that trade very short trades, but they're scalpers. They're looking for about a fraction of a percent. Usually, a lot of scalpers are in Forex. They'll grab pips, they call, which is fractions of pennies. Oh, man.
Yeah, we've got a call developing here, possibly.
Prepped on the 320.
We'll do
Bollinger Bands are not reacting.
7. We'll stay at the 241 on the call side.
So a lot of the indicators like M4, this dotted white line, and PSAR don't apply to our time frame because we're too tight in for them to matter. So yeah, on the white dots, and the red and green arrows you can ignore.
Wow. Look on Q. So you've got this near straight line all the way across the M lines. Very strong push up. But
A bit of trouble on SPY here.
We're also got a lot of area to move up on E2 and E3. This could develop nicely. So we'll stay prepped on the 241 on the call side, of course.
Not super eager to enter SPY here because I think it's going to have quite a bit of trouble at 320, which is in a very short time. We may be able to eke out a trade in these 10 cents. You know, we could have probably grabbed it from 85 to 320. But, you know, if it reversed just before 320, I wouldn't want to get caught in that because that would have been really sharp. As we can see, every time it turns off that call, there's a really sharp corner. It means it happens quickly and aggressively, and it's very hard to get out of in time. So I don't want to get caught in anything like that. If we push up through 320 though, we might grab it.
All right, we're struggling at this 241.30 again, but we finally moved past. Tried to enter there. I'll try again.
Am I looking at the?
Nope.
Oh, I'm looking at the put.
In.
I was very confused as to why that call was doing absolutely nothing. I'm trading the 320 on both sides. So
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was still on the put.
Ah, that will do it.
Much better movement on the call. That was my mistake. I should have been in, guys, on this 320 break like we mentioned, but I was just not there. So.
Wow, look at that. Brian got, I was out of the room. I don't know if y'all covered a little bit, but Brian got 8 cents again on the SPY. Can you believe that?
That was just now, yeah.
I believe it.
He's up huge today.
Doing great.
Bill, Robert from earlier. Robert traded SPX yesterday afternoon. Did really well. 40 and 30 cent spread usually with $30 option prices. John, oh no, answered that. Sam says, Mr. Hooper, thanks for the training. I gained 29 cents in 5 MMT trades this week.
Fantastic.
As well as 50 cents for a 4.7% profit on a 5-hour momentum trade on SO yesterday. More to come. Thank you.
So, and it's only been 2 days. He says this week's only been 2 days.
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Martha got 8 cents on that SPY call as well, and we are all caught up.
Nice.
Maybe taking a second
Right,
wave up here.
One on this. Just continues up.
It's still hard to adjust your mental from put to call, isn't it, Tim?
I know, right?
I did not expect it to be this hard.
Well, we're just picking off those like low-hanging fruit on these puts.
They're
right?
so easy, man.
Yeah, and then
call, you gotta wait for it. You gotta the call you gotta wait for. You gotta wait. See that rocky grind up, and you gotta have the tolerance to loss. Like puts, you just buy it and you make money. It's crazy.
Dow just went over 300 negative, 303 negative. Yeah.
Who?
The Dow.
Oh.
Dow Jones.
Mr. Jones.
Quincy, only one trade today. Got 25 cents on Q.
Nice.
Wow, incredible.
If you got to do it, got to do one. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Alan and Linda. All I meant, and I've built the suspense. All I meant, if anybody has gotten the legend from me, when you're brand new, I send you a color-coded sheet that says white is M1, green is M2, etc. To so you can keep up with what we're talking about as we say it. Another part of that legend is the basic setup, and I mentioned the starting line. All I mean by the starting line is you want things to be opposite of.
Hey guys, I just jumped in at 243. We're 244. We're gonna 247. I'm gonna get out. All right, 247, 243 to 247, Joe.
Fantastic.
Lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got pretty frisky for a second there.
I jumped out on that first jump. I just do not trust these calls.
That was plus 1.65. That's good.
Okay. Where are we for the day, Joe?
Okay, 13.96 plus what you just made, 1.65, 15.61.
Right.
Good.
I think that's why, Tim, is because their puts are a lot more representative. If you go look at this put, right, you see that it moved from point A to point B because it actually did, right? And they have some fluttering in between, but the calls, it looks like you went straight from point A to point B. But I mean, we were almost breaking through M1 here on SPY downwards. And when
Yeah.
you look back, it looks so much smoother than it actually is. But I mean, you're getting these 10, 20 cent it's just flopping around like a fish out of water.
Yeah, exactly.
For how tight our risk tolerance is, it's really hard to stay in through those. As you can see, I mean, Tim, how long was that trade?
Oh, 8 seconds, 10 seconds.
Yeah, 8-10 seconds. So I mean, it's just right. There's money to be made on the calls, but it's deceivingly smooth. You know, you'd say, oh, look on this call. We have the same increasing angle on SPY. You guys watched this call happen on SPY. You know that's not the case. So it's just something to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm. You know, it also you look over on Q right when it hit the Bollinger Band. You can see Bollinger Bands were, well, the upper Bollinger Band was expanding significantly, but we had a break right where it hit the Bollinger Band and went a little more vertical. Actually earlier than that, if you would.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
That one.
Here.
Yeah. So that was a real strong indicator there. Of course, we had that straight line all the way through the M line.
This is a real increase.
Yeah.
That one was real right there.
And we're going to have 2.63% carried over from yesterday, that last minute Q. So right now, if we added that, we'd be about 17, 18, up about 18 for the day. So not bad.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Good morning. Very good morning.
Yeah.
And still got 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, that starting line, Alan. All right, so I'm just gonna finish this explanation. Sorry. Basically, you want stuff to be in the right position to move, right? So if we're looking for a put, before we look for crossovers, before we look for Bollinger Bands expanding, before we look for anything, M1 increasing, any of this breaking the Bollinger Band nonsense, we need it to be in the right spot so it can do this. Meaning, the tighter the better, right? If we're consolidating here, like on SPY, that's good. We want the M lines to be, possibly close together or changing direction. So let's say we're looking for the put right now, right? Earlier we're looking for the call. So if we're looking for the put, then the positioning we need M1 to be high in the case so that it has the possibility to move down. Same with E2, same with E3. Need to start to see E2 round and get flat on top, like it did here. We need to see that progression happen. We need to see the slow cross for it to start turning down, and we need to see it in order. You see E1's already crossed here. E2 hasn't yet, but it's closer than E3, and then E3 will after. Mm-hmm. Those time delays are on purpose so that you can see the progression.
Hey, let me get this. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so the starting line is just the opposite of where you're going, and you need it to be positioned there before you can even start to look for a trade. So go ahead, Joe. Okay,
Larry says, ask, is there an alert sent out when the guys are going to trade an afternoon session? Yes, Larry, there is, and you need to send an email, support@micromomenttrading.com, and just have your name and your cell phone number, and you will get that via a text on your cell phone about 10 minutes before they're getting ready to start up. And if you leave the screen on when they sign off this afternoon or later this few minutes when they sign off, it'll just pop right back up and the charts will show up and you're ready to go. You're already signed in. So if you don't send that email, you're not going to get the notice. So
there you go.
Okay.
Steve, to get SPX, you need a what are they called? Carrot?
Oh,
is that what it's called?
Yeah. Yep. It's a carrot.
If I'm reading your question right, you have to do this.
I have to charge off the queue.
That little up arrow.
Perfect. The SPX is frozen. Is anyone else having?
Yeah, because it will show that it doesn't come up, or is it first? How do you type this in? Maybe it's first.
I think it is first. Yeah, you type that
SPX. Yeah, if you just type in SPX, it won't load. Where's it? Oh, they're all locked. My bad. Unlock. Make sure it's unlocked too, otherwise it won't change. These little blue locks. Yep, and then it'll come up. So put the carrot first, and then you'll be able to get that SPX chart.
Larry said, thanks for that info. Quincy, woo, 25 cents on his day off for now. We'll get back on this afternoon about 2:30. Thanks, guys. This is becoming quite profitable. Well, yeah, Quincy, I imagine so.
Quincy, don't say that. Here, don't we have a sliding scale on the charts fee, don't we, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The more money you make,
The better you do here, the more you have to pay us.
Hey, Bill got 6 cents on QQQ. Good deal. Congratulations.
nice.
Bill. Martha, of course, says, congratulations, Quincy. That's Martha. She's always there.
So to our earlier talk, you see E1 had the biggest break so far. E2 is now flat, right? Now we're getting to that put on E2. E3 is still separate, very much a call position, but you see it's starting to flatten out. You can see that angle starting to round. That's what I mean by that starting line. We want to be in a position where a put is possible, which this is it. So low volume, I'm not, super freaking out, but I mean, if these Bollinger Bands start to expand, I'll probably grab the put here. But everything's slowing down pretty significantly, which is fine.
Well, it's 9:30. You guys are about through anyhow.
Larry, 2 successful Q trades, 1 put, 1 call for a newbie. Yeah, Larry, aren't you like brand new? Congratulations. That's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yep, brand new. Fantastic. Good job, man. Man, you're just jumping right in. I know this can be a lot for a lot of people, for you to be able to digest it and go for it that fast. That's
But look how humble he is. He says, "Yep." Like, well, okay. Yep. Just normal.
We will say, Larry, if you haven't heard us say it before, start on 1 to 5 contracts so you can get your feet into it. The ones that turn against you, if you don't know how to absorb that and handle that quick turn, even on your platform, things feel a lot differently. There's a lot of different buttons to press at this time frame, so make sure you get used to those differences on about 1 to 5 contracts if you're going live. Otherwise, you can do it on paper. That works too. But I just thought I'd throw that in.
Yeah.
5 contracts, perfect. Man, he's watched all the YouTube videos, I think. I think he's gotten a head start and he's just ready to rock. He's ready to rock.
Right on. Right on. Yeah, I'm good for this morning.
I'm gonna prep this put. It could happen right now if we break down through 320 here, and then after this trade, I'll hop off.
Yeah, let's see.
The trade happens.
And let's see. Bill got 6 cents on a Q put. Way to go. Martha says, "Way to go, Quincy." Steve says, "Thanks for the hint." Larry, 2 successful Q trades. 1 put, 1 call for a newbie. I haven't figured. Nice. Yep. Okay, I think you read all these. Yep. Larry was doing 5 contracts. Okay, good.
All right, never mind. E1's bottomed, and looks like we're bouncing up. We never got the Bollinger expansion. You guys can, this is a good example of what happens when that expansion just never comes.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it still has a chance.
Uh-oh. Feel free to interrupt me. David lost 13 cents on Q, got hit on the bounce back after that huge push down, but had my stop on. Good. Then reset and cleared my head, got back in for +10, +6 on the call. Way to go.
Incredible.
That's it, man. Do not let those losses play with your head. Just
Larry says he's watched all the pre-recorded sessions, very helpful, as is the live stuff. Brad says thank you. So,
and thanks for telling about your loss as well.
Yep.
I'll do that.
I just want to prep this 242 call on Q, maybe following Microsoft up here. So I'm gonna get a little expansion. 260, 258. I'll catch it on the low side here. I don't know.
Yeah, of sketchy.
Yeah, it is sketchy.
Right. Yeah, I'm canceled on the put now, obviously. So
With that carryover, that one trade from yesterday, that queue from yesterday, we're up, reported today, 19.36% for the day.
nice.
Nice.
If you add yesterday, which was 3.75, 22.81 for the 2 days. Not bad.
Sweet.
Not bad.
So we can make our average this week. This is only Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you guys are going to sign off?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Well,
Me
if
too.
y'all do have to come back to anything, let me know.
Okay.
Everybody,
And you gave your
fantastic day here for everybody. You're welcome, Jay. Fantastic day for everybody. I couldn't believe it was so fast. So maybe we should.
you gave your spiel, right, about coming back.
I'm sorry.
Did you give your spiel about
Yeah.
coming back?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've given it 2 or 3 times, yeah, because we had a very specific question from Larry. I think it was Larry. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I saw Bill. I saw Bill comment after we got off yesterday too. Bill, if you're on here, about getting notified, you have to send that to support at Micro Moment Trading, not through the question box. We can't add the phone numbers to the list. It has to be Sue Ann, our tech lady. So.
And your
Hi,
cell
guys.
phone number. Yep. Okay. See y'all later, and we'll see everybody tomorrow too. Bye bye.
Awesome. Thanks.
Bye, guys.